Mr. Martti Talvela, born in the town of Hiitola, on the shore of Lake Ladoga, now in the Republic of Karelia in Russia, in February 1935, and died in the town of Juva in eastern Finland in July 1989, was a Finnish operatic bass. That is, he sang in a low voice. He studied in Lahti and Stockholm and made his operatic debut in Helsinki in 1960 as Spara Fucile. His height has been variously estimated at 198 centimeters or 6 feet and 6 inches, and at 203 centimeters, 6 feet and 8 inches, and he was, at least according to his English language Wikipedia article or biography, the tallest singer of the 20th century. He trained as a boxer as a young man and developed the stamina necessary for the biggest roles. Originally, he was educated as a primary school teacher in Savonlinna, southeastern Finland, from 1952 and 1956, and he worked in that occupation at 3 schools between 1957 and 1960. In the late 1950s, he decided to change his occupation to that of an opera singer. He sang at the Stockholm Royal Opera in Sweden from 1961 to 1962, before becoming a regularly employed singer at the Deutsche Oper, or German Opera of Berlin, in 1962. In 1970, the Senate or government of West Berlin formally granted him the rank of chamber singer. He worked as the artistic leader of the Savonlinna Opera Festival, which is held in the midsummer roughly in July from 1972 to 1979. At New York's Metropolitan Opera, he performed the role of Boris Godunov, the late 16th and early 17th century Russian Tsar or Emperor, 39 times between 1974 and 1987. He was especially acclaimed as the title character in Boris Godunov and as Pimen from the same work as the early 19th century Finnish revivalist lay preacher Mr. Paavo Ruotsalainen in The Last Temptations, as a Wagner singer, as Sarastro in the classic opera of Mozart, The Magic Flute, Dosify, and Prince Gremin as King Philip II, the Grand Inquisitor, and in the later part of his career, the title character in Glinka's Ivan Susanin. As his final record, he left terribly thinned out by his diabetes and stomach problems, a warm and heartfelt version of Schubert's Winterreise, or Winter Journey. He also left at least 2 recorded performances of the mid and late 19th century Russian composer Modest Mussorgsky's Songs and Dances of Death, one with full orchestra and one with piano accompaniment. The combination of vocal depth, dark timbre, and sheer size made him stand out in every part he sang, and his bass seemed to extend effortlessly without the break that most basses have to resort to hit their low notes, and without losing richness on high notes. During the last 8 years of his life, from 1981 to 1989, he worked as a farmer on the Inkilän Hovi or Inkilä Court farm in Juva, eastern Finland, while continuing his official career as an opera singer. His health had begun to decline already in 1975 when he was diagnosed with diabetes and gout. In 1982 alone, he suffered 2 heart attacks at the Metropolitan Opera in New York. Stomach problems also plagued him at times in the 1980s. He died at the age of 54 while dancing at his daughter's wedding in Juva.